Finally, tonight on InfoWars Nightly News, I want to lay out some of the basic statistics and facts from the Justice Department itself and the FBI. They do not publicize these statistics that crime has been dropping, violent crime, for more than 20 years and accelerating the last 5 as gun ownership is proliferating. And that's why you're seeing this coordinated attack on the Second Amendment right now and waving the bloody shirt of these poor children at Sandy Hook. That's why you're seeing this type of exploitation, is because the system knows the culture doesn't trust the corrupt foreign occupational banks or government. They know we're awakening. And I got to tell you, I've been studying this Sandy Hook situation more and more. It's looking like a fully staged operation. And we're compiling the information right now. But separately, what we know is staged is the hoax that mass shootings are increasing or that violent crime is increasing, when the opposite is the truth. But first off, look at this article out of Reuters. Even without Congress, Obama could act to restrict guns. And it goes into basically what Bloomberg and others have said. He's going to use executive orders and ATF rules. And they say, by law, he can do this. Congress makes the laws. So they're now just saying with no citation, because they're Reuters, they don't have to. Oh, by law, he can take your guns. It's like saying, by law, Stalin can arrest you with no law. So they're begging him to become Caesar. 3 times Julius Caesar, the first dictator of Rome, the tyrant, refused the crown. And so it's like, oh, gee, I don't want to do that. And here's our article at Infowars.com. Reuters calls for Obama to act as dictator to ban guns. And then it goes through all the other calls. Very important article at Infowars.com. He is now appointing Biden, the tyrant, to call for a new federal task force where they get a few puppet governors and people to sign on, a few House and Senate members, to say, well, our commission, not Congress, has called to ban all semi-autos. And then in 1 month, they will call for the ban of semi-autos and the actual physical confiscation of them. So this is the incredibly serious situation that we are now facing. Before I get to these statistics, I want to point out Wikipedia's entry, which has a good bibliography at the bottom, breaking down how they passed the '68 Gun Control Act before you could buy anything you wanted at stores, and we had much lower crime rates with no ID. They used Lee Harvey Oswald and the supposed lone gunman killing of JFK. We now know that was totally staged. They used the Robert F. Kennedy killing to finally pass it that year, and the killing of Martin Luther King, which we now know in even court cases and congressional reports, all 3 were staged by black ops and the shadow government. So my point is, even the encyclopedia admits they got the '68 Gun Control Act rammed through on the back of political assassinations. Hey, public, you should turn your guns in because lone nuts are killing presidential candidates, presidents, and civil rights activists. And then in all the cases, they've had federal and state court cases and congressional reports finding there were conspiracies in all 3 cases. Look it up. So, would they stage Sandy Hook? You bet your butt they would. And they've done it over and over again, and Sandy Hook is showing all of those key signs. Now, finally, let's go over some of the statistics here. Here is the FBI numbers from 2011, just released last week. They don't release these until a year after the year had ended to compile these off of local crime statistics. And believe me, they don't want to advertise these. This is key information to get out. Violent crime. Go to FBI.gov and type in crime statistics for yourself. It says right here that, and I've underlined it, number of offenses of violent crimes, aggravated violent crimes, assaults, shootings, home invasions, down, and you go through the other aggravated type crime, property crime, home invasions, plunging. The graph follows the other graphs right online. And when you look at the gun ownership graphs and gun sale graphs increasing the last 5-6 years when this is accelerated, as guns go up, just as Professor Lott found in his research, then published in More Guns, Less Crime, as gun ownership goes up, crime, violent crime goes down. What crime has gone up? Stealing copper out of a warehouse, breaking into a car where there's no person there and they see a purse, or stealing your purse or your wallet when you go to the bathroom at the restaurant. That's increasing. The criminals will not now engage in violent attacks like they used to. Rapes are down. And if you look at the maps of this at the FBI site, it's all the areas that have more gun ownership. Crimes increase in Chicago and New York where they've taken the guns. But let's look at England. This has been compiled by European Union's own numbers. Gun control fail. UK has highest violent crime rate in Europe. It's more than doubled in the 15 years since a total gun ban. And if you look at the numbers, again, they lead, well, not just Europe, but Australia, South Africa, Sweden, Belgium, Canada, Finland, Netherlands, Luxembourg, and France. But who has the lowest crime? Switzerland, where they make you own automatic weapons by law. And they've got local bunkers with hand grenades and rocket launchers for the general public, and nobody dare invade them, not even Hitler. So you've got those numbers. I thought I would also show you, again, Daily Mail, the most violent country in Europe. Britain is also worse than South Africa and the U.S. in general stabbings and muggings and killings. Not guns, because the criminals don't have guns to do it. It's baseball bats, cudgels, and knives. So there is those statistics. Mexico, total gun ban for the citizens. 50,000 dead the last few years. Highest crime rate in the world. Total gun ban for the citizens. The government's all mafia, along with drug gangs killing each other. So there is that group of reports, and those statistics are public. So that's the facts. Get this video out for everyone you know to know the truth. Let them see the statistics and the facts for themselves, so when they see the news and they're announcing, crime wave, mass shooting wave, we're all dead, it's over. They need to understand it's just like the movie Jaws in the 70s. You can look up these news articles. For 2 years, more than half the people wouldn't go to resorts and go in the ocean. This happened all over the world. And they had to run public service announcements going, great whites only kill a few people a year. There is no metal shark in the water. They're creating a total mind control hoax, just like with Jaws, about these mass shootings. Yes, the 20 poor dead children, very sad. Some psychiatric Prozac head killed them, if you believe the official story. Very sad, but taking our guns won't protect us. The globalists are taking your guns and trying to get them, and they've taken them everywhere else because they want to enslave you. It's that simple. It's elementary. That's it for this edition of InfoWars Nightly News. Great job to the crew. Now, if you care about freedom, get this key information out. Crime is lowering. Guns are saving lives. It's a hoax that there's a pandemic of gun violence. Piers Morgan and the rest of these globalists need to get out of America and go back to Europe, where they've already destroyed things. Alex Jones signing off for Infowars.com.